Okay, I'm thinking that's the last one, honestly. That's definitely the last one. Because I was, in the previous one, I was just talking about the. Actually, that's for the first time I think I took a comfortable position. Honestly, like I kept trying to do like a comfortable position, and I think I finally achieved it. Which is my knee here. I was thinking about that story. I might have already told it, but I don't think I did. About about Haruki Murakami, who is I think the most known Japanese writer of our time, who's already like almost 80 years old, I think, even more, like around 80 years old, who has written more than 50 books. And he tells in his book, I think it's what I talk about when I talk about running, one of the most known books about running, which I've read, I think, both in English and in my native language. He tells the story that he was up to 30, I think, 30 something years old. He was an owner of the bar near Kyoto with his wife, and they were running the bar. And he was writing after the bar was closed and in the mornings, and was sleeping a very short amount of time. And at a certain time, they decided to close down the bar to sell it and to move to another part of the country. And a certain amount of months, he was writing his first book. And this time was dedicated solely to this. So they sold the bar, they closed the business down, they moved, and he was writing the book. And this is a sort of a leap of faith that I would never probably understand. I would never understand how it's possible to just leap that much. Because, of course, they must have thought about what if it doesn't work. Because he was not a known writer at the time. He was not someone with a lot of audience or a lot of recognition. He was not universally known. I think he only became universally known like 15 years after that. Maybe like 10, 15 years. Like outside of Japan. I mean, because he was always, I think, at least how I see it, is that he was always more popular outside of Japan than inside Japan. But maybe I wasn't inside Japan, so I cannot tell you for certain. But that story is the story of a person. I would love to know his headspace at the time he was writing his first book and he sold everything and he didn't have a job. I would love to know how he made that decision, because you have to have an incredible amount of faith, an incredible amount of faith in yourself and your ideas and your stories and your work to leap into the unknown. And that's these, because I'm talking about it because it's something I'm grappling with since a very long time already. Well, in the context of the whole life, it's not that long. It's like 6 months, maybe a bit more, but yeah, it's around 6 months that I'm grappling with that idea of leaving everything and dedicating myself to a creative thing. But I would like to know how he made that decision, and I would like to know how he dared to do this. Because that's the question that I never. I've read the book, I've read his other books, but I do not think he specifically ever answered that question. How did he dare to do this and believe in himself that much? Because yeah, that's the question that puzzles me. And I mean, it's the ultimate freedom and the ultimate mental clarity and the ultimate absence of distractions and just the ultimate test, I think, of how powerful you are and how powerful your creative abilities are. And that's just this test that kind of the test of faith, I suppose, that so many people I think are unable to take and will never be able to take, and I cannot blame them for that because Everyone is holding on to what they have for legitimate reasons. But I'm kind of I'm remembering that story in relation to my own speech. In I don't know whether it will be previous videos or one after, depends on how I post them. But that speech about being the train and receiving the ideas and getting the ideas and working on the ideas, because I would go so far as to say I could go so far as to say if you get the ideas, you should quit everything and you should just pursue it. Because if you are getting it, if I was a religious person, I would have said, okay, like the universe, God, whatever is giving you stuff, that means that you should just go into that direction and you should just abandon everything else. And that's the thing. Because if you are a religious person, if you believe that this is from God, then okay, you just got to go into that direction and trust. And that's essentially what he's done. But somehow in my thinking, I can't go that far. I can't go that far. I know that I'm getting the ideas and everyone is getting ideas for a reason. I know that if you're getting an idea, you should do the maximum to work on it. And I know that you should make an effort to get the ideas into the world. Because ultimately, I believe the ideas come to be read, come to be enjoyed, come to be watched, come to be consumed, come to be realized. But I do not believe that you necessarily have to do a huge leap of faith because of it. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Because there are so many stories when people just quit everything and just focus on this one thing and just don't care about anything else. And undoubtedly, if I lost everything, which is a crazy concept, even though it's not visible in my face, but which is a crazy concept, but if I lost everything, I would have found means to focus on what's most important. Because I think by the age I am at right now, I finally got it in my head that what's important in life is not really gathering all the stuff, all the monetary stuff, and all the stuff that will distinct you from others, and all the, as I was saying in another video, all the titles and all the prestigious traveling and all the possessions and all the, I don't know, the car that you drive, the apartment that you live in, the people you frequent. I finally got it into my head that the most important stuff is kind of having enough time and enough force and enough courage and enough energy and just enough in you to realize what you have been given. So probably I would have focused on it with more intensity and would have focused on it like he focused on it. But I'm still grappling with that thing that you gotta abandon everything to make it work.